And welcome back, adventurers, once again to Let's Play Chaos Head. In the last episode, Takumi Nishijo was looking forward to meeting Yua again at the courtyard of Suume Academy, but he ran into a mysterious girl with a very intimidating expression, scowling at him. Puzzled by the strange girl, Takumi nonetheless decided to keep to his word and actually found Yule waiting for him in the courtyard, much to her surprise and Takumi's as well. Nonetheless, the afternoon was spent in Shoto Park, Takumi's favorite hangout in the morning and the afternoon, and things seemed to be going pretty well. Right up until the moment that Takumi mentioned the Gero Froggies on Yua's bag, by which she was actually surprised by the fact that he knew what Gero Froggy was. Instead of making light of the situation, however, Yua's expression turned dark indeed, leading Takumi to believe that his initial reservations about her might not be off the mark after all. And this also deviates a little bit from the previous delusions, because what we encountered in the previous episode when we chose the positive delusion, quote unquote, was that Takumi decided to make light of the situation of the three Gero Froggies attached to Yua's bag. However, as interesting as Yua's reaction to Takumi knowing about the three Gero Froggies was, that is not the true significance of Takumi's sudden reservations here. And we're probably going to find out more if we either go through this on reality or if we decide to go the negative route, which this time around isn't going to bring up a delusion, which is a bit of an interesting twist. Wait a second. Just now, something at the edge of my sight had nagged me. What I'd spied just now. Gero Froggy, the mascot character that was all the rage among high school girls. I'd seen it somewhere before. Where? Well, we do know yet again the fact that it's attached to that Nanami has one attached to her phone. However, that is not the only time in which we have observed Gero Froggy. We've seen it somewhere else as well. Do you remember? Well, we're about to find out. Yes. Because, ladies and gentlemen, it's not just the Giro Froggies that are the clue here. It's the bag. Yua's bag, in fact. Now, it could very well be that the satchel of Yua's might just be a Suume Academy staple, but I'm guessing that along with the Giro Froggies, yeah, we've seen that bag in room 36 of At Cafe. In other words, the one researching the New Gen Wiki is in fact Yua Kusunoki, which means that Yua knows about New Gen, which would start to explain a lot of things and also raise some very unsettling flags. And will finally begin to shed some light onto the reality of the reason why she has been befriending Takumi Nishijo this whole time. So as much as we've been berating him on the fact that he's being overly paranoid and oversensitive, in this one instance, Takumi Nishijo was right to be suspicious of the girl known as Yua Kusunoki. For one reason or another, Yua seems to believe that Takumi himself is connected to New Gen, a fact of reality that Takumi himself would be hard-pressed to refute, considering the fact that he is unfortunately entangled. Room 36. The room next to room 37, my usual spot at At Cafe. Last week, on the day that I first met Yua, there'd once been a customer in room 36 and they'd been looking at a wiki for the new gen about the new gen incidents. At the time, after spotting Yua in At Cafe, I'd hurriedly left the store. Yeah, we did glimpse her behind the curtain. No way. The person in the room next door had been... I glanced at her, sitting on the bench and looking up at me. I locked eyes with the gaze that had looked up at me from deep within her glasses. It was the first time our eyes had ever met. Well, it's time to confront Yua Kusunoki with the truth. She was still smiling, but her expression soon changed to confusion. Yeah, she hasn't realized because we didn't bring up the Gero Froggies. Yet. What kind of face was I making? I don't know. I returned my line of sight to her bag, to those stuffed animal straps. Now, if we had brought up the fact that Nanami had a Gero Froggy of her own and that it was turning into a social fashion trend, Yua might not have reacted the way that she did. But the fact that we even mentioned the fact that we had seen the Gero Froggies on her bag right now was enough to set her alarm off, because she knew that we were at Cafe. I sensed her sucking her breath. Well, even if the Gero Froggies were not there, your satchel is very distinctive. Rustling, blown by the wind, yellow leaves separated from their branches and danced. A whole range of thoughts circled around and around in my head. It wouldn't be unusual if multiple people had 3 of the same Gero Froggies attached to their bags, given the fact that the Gero Froggy character was inexplicably popular. There is a high chance that someone would have a yellow, red, and green Gero Froggy in that order attached to the exact same spot on the bag, but that would be a huge coincidence. But room 36. That day, Yua might have been sitting in the room next door to me, and up until now she'd never attempted to mention it once. And then there was New Gen. Though I'd completely forgotten about it, I'd witnessed the scene of one of the crimes. Now the question is, if she is aware of the fact that Takumi was somehow involved in New Gen, how does she know about it? And more importantly, why? That gory spectacle came to life at the back of my brain, and moreover, I'd seen the perpetrator's face.
これですか？ゲロカエルンって言うんです。何人かの友達にもらっちゃって、気がついたら3つになってまして。
Interesting reaction there from you, Yua. If you had reacted this way when Takumi had mentioned them earlier, he might have not have been suspicious. Yua showed me a slightly strained smile. Reaching over to her bag, she began to remove the Gero Froggies that were fastened there. Too little, too
最
late.
近女子高生に大人気なんですよ。私はあんまり可愛いとは思わないんですけど。
Yet again, if only you'd reacted this way earlier, our suspicion flag would not have been raised. Her hand was shaking minutely. Perhaps because she was in a hurry, she had trouble taking the straps off.
変だな。 どうして外れないんでしょう。ちょっと待ってくださいね。西条くんにも見せてあげ。
I believe now is the time to end this little charade once and for all. When Yua tried to forcibly pull the straps away, her bag fell off the bench. Because the fasteners weren't closed, notebooks and textbooks came tumbling out from it.
私ったら何をやってるんでしょう。
Now you've gone and done it. It's not just what's on the bag that is important. It's what's in the bag that is ultimately going to reveal the truth. If it were several minutes earlier, I might have mowed over Yua's clumsy side, but all I could do now was freeze in place because a single notebook had by chance opened up as it hit the ground. From within it poured memos and newspaper clippings and the like. It seemed to be some kind of scrapbook. The memos, clippings, everything in it had to do with a certain series of incidents. New Gen. I saw it clearly. Indeed.
なんて。
Why is Yua Kusunoki researching New Gen? Well, her motives may be her own, but to draw Takumi into it. My voice was hoarse. Yua feverishly gathered the scattered memos and clippings and shoved them back into her bag. And she realizes that we saw. Yua rose, hugging her bag to her chest. Her smile from the forehead completely vanished, and she hung her head uncomfortably.
それは。
There's no point in hiding it now. Yua didn't answer. However she might feel about this moment, there's no going back. Why would you answer? Answer me. Say something to me. If you don't say anything, won't I start thinking you must be feeling guilty? Even though I'd started to believe in you, even though I'd started to think that maybe you might be my ally. Well, never thought I'd say this, Takumi. You might have been right.
誰も信じちゃダメ。誰の言葉にも耳を傾けちゃダメ。
Sarah had been right after all. 3D girls were the worst, each and every one of them. Even Yua hadn't felt kindly towards me or anything. She'd only approached me with some goal in mind. Maybe she meant to hand me over to the police. Maybe she meant to threaten me. This sucks. This fucking sucks. Even though I'd started to forget all about that incident. Even though since the police hadn't shown any signs of coming to talk to me about it, I'd made myself think I would get by without having anything to do with it. Even though I hadn't wanted to get wrapped up in it. What the hell did Yua want from me? In any case, I turned on my heel, wanting to flee. But Yua grabbed my wrist from behind me.
逃げるの？
Her voice made my blood run cold. Yeah. Sorry about that, adventurers. I just had to step away for a moment. But, yeah. This is a side of Yua that we haven't seen before. A very different side of Yua. A voice so chilly, my spine seemed about to freeze. I could hardly think of her as being the same Yua as before. It's as if her very demeanor has changed. On top of that, Yua's grip on my wrist was abnormally powerful. She gripped it so tight the pain shot through me. Such a violent pain that it was enough to make me wonder if she would clench me to bits, all the way down to my bones. I tried to shake her off, but she wouldn't let me go. On the contrary, she pulled me closer, making me pitch backwards.
逃げるの？
She whispered from behind me, more so than that. right beside my ear, sounding as though all emotion had died. Shuddering, I timidly turned around. Yeah. I think we've finally seen Yua's true colors. The color residing within the depths of her glaring eyes wasn't sane.
逃がさないよ。騙してたことは謝るけど、お互い様だし。あなただって隠してたことあるよね。
Hid something. I could only come up with one thing. Somehow, some way, this girl knew that I'd witnessed the corpse of the perpetrator of the statement murder. And that was why she'd approached me. And how did she know? She was a genius after all. That meant every single thing she told me had been a lie, right from the very start. The fact that she'd been concerned about me the first time she saw me. The fact that she said she liked Bloodshot. And the fact that she promised to go together with me to pick up the post-awakening Sarah figure on the day it was released. Yeah, the fact that they, it is one thing for two people to have similar interests and the same hobby, but to have precisely the exact same hobbies is too much of a coincidence. And the fact that she smiled and nodded as though she was having fun listening to what I was telling her, and the fact that she said she wanted to become better friends with me, and the fact that she got worried about me when I didn't come to school, and the fact that she'd been nice enough to call me Admiral. All of it had been just her saying whatever came to the top of her head. I clenched my fists in frustration and grief. Fuck. Why'd I try so hard to believe in someone like her? Because you saw her as a way out.
本当はもっと時間をかけて調べたかったんだけど、バレちゃったからしょうがないよね。
So in the end, that's all she was doing. Investigating, and nothing more. But investigating for who?
あなたに聞いてもらいたい話があるの。聞いてくれるよね。聞かないなんて言わないよね。あなたは聞くべきよ。聞いて。聞くでしょ。聞かないなら。
Yeah, her manner of speaking now definitely suggests the fact that, yeah, something isn't right about Yua's mental faculties. Sharp as they are, there is something out of place with her personality. If I don't listen, what? Feels like a different person from the Yua I've known up until now. Her gentle, calm atmosphere had vanished. Now I sensed an unapproachable atmosphere and an indescribable tenacity. Her tone was absolute in its self-possession. No, cool-headedness might be a better way to put it. Her usual frailty was nowhere to be found. No, I don't want to listen. I tried to cover my ears. I couldn't do it. You had captured one of my hands. She wasn't gripping it as hard as before, but she showed no signs of letting go. She wouldn't let my hand move freely. Still holding on to me, she reached inside her bag and slowly, deliberately pulled something out that shone dully. She held it out towards me. Of course. Metallic stake that, metallic stake that he had inadvertently taken back to his room and thrown on the floor, that ended up somewhere under the bed. And of course, Yua found it when she was doing her spring cleaning. Whether she was deliberately looking for it or not is something I can't rightly say, but she does have it. I was stunned. My heartbeat leapt higher. I couldn't stay calm. I was so shocked that I lowered the one hand covering my ear. It was when Yua's accusatory voice reached my ears.
この十字架に見覚えあるよね。
Of course I recognized it. I soon saw it for what it was. It resembled a cross, but in truth was a stake. One didn't see stakes often with such a distinctive shape. At the very least, I'd only seen them once before. That night, strewn upon the pavement. And I can't read any of that because Takumi went through that in a blinding panic.
知ってるんでしょ。知ってるに決まってる。知らないなんて言わせない。知ってなくちゃおかしい。知ってるよね。知ってるよね。
I desperately shook my head. Greasy sweat stood out on my forehead. All I could do for the time being as I wiped it was shake my head from side to side.
これ、あなたの部屋にあったのよ。あなたの部屋、ベッドの下、床に落ちてた。落ちてたの。落としたよね。それとも捨てた。とにかく落ちてた。落ちてたの。
You bitch. And how did she investigate my room the day we first met? Of course. But I hurt my foot and she helped me to my room. When she could see my figure of serotonin and her face quit shining and she called it cute.
この杭、開国製のすごく珍しい杭なのよ。それとニュージェネ第3の事件で使われた杭と同じ。
Indeed it
同
is.
じなの。同じよね。同じなのは間違いない。同じよ。遺体を壁に貼り付けにした杭と同じ。
I was positive of it. She suspected me of being the new gen perpetrator. She had convinced herself that I was a murderer. Did she think she was some kind of detective? A high school girl detective, Yua Kusunogi? Or something like that? Go die. I mean it. You deserve to die. It might have worked in an anime or a game, but Yua's reasoning was fatally mistaken. I knew the killer. I'd seen her with my own eyes, that demon. She was a girl whose name I didn't recognize, but she had worn the Surmei uniform. The culprit was someone very near to me.
だから
She seems proud of the logic that she's asserted thus far, but Takumi isn't wrong. There is a slight flaw in her logic. Yua lowered her head and let out a small breath. Her grip on my wrist weakened and at last she released me.
それ以上でもそれ以下でもないです。ただ、あなたが知ってるかどうかを確かめたかっただけ。本当はまだ言うつもりじゃなかったですし。
And now that you've established that fact, what the hell was yet supposed to mean here?
それじゃあ、もう一つ確認させてください。あなたには予知能力がありますか？
That's a bit of a tall stretch. Now what I was actually going to say about her flaw in logic is that if you were attempted to accuse Takumi of trying to cover up the crime by hiding the evidence, remember the fact that there were multiple stakes around, and the fact that Takumi had one. Having one stake doesn't necessarily prove that he's the killer. In fact, why the killer would take one stake under normal circumstances would actually be inconceivable. Now, an argument could be made as to the fact that the killer might try to pretend to be an innocent bystander. But Takumi actually did something that any normal person would. He unconsciously took it back with him in a panic.
Huh?
But but Yua's logic is suddenly flying out the window in regards to this. I unthinkingly let my mouth fall open. Precognitive powers? What the heck was that? What did that have to do with the incident? As I racked my brain, Yua plunged her hand into her bag and pulled out a piece of paper with a full-color image printed on
予
it.
知能力があるって思わなきゃ納得できないような画像データをあなたが持っていたから。
What do you mean, a piece of image data? Oh, the Guru picture Shogun had sent me. Why did Yua have it?
これ
あなたはどうしてニュージェネ第3の事件の再現画像を持っているんですか？しかもこの画像が流出したのは事件の前日です。
Wait a minute, the image was sent out the day before the incident. Well, it's possible that the body couldn't have been discovered until much later. Well, albeit by Shogun, as evidenced by the photo.
あなたの使った PC にキャッシュが残ってました。
Wait. Are you telling me this photo was in room 37? Now that is an ominous coincidence. I got this image from a guy called Shogun, who I chatted with for the first time that day. I didn't make it myself. In other words, Takumi can actually, well, unfortunately it was alone, so it wouldn't necessarily be a provable alibi as such. But Takumi's PC does actually have when Shogun sent the image links. The fact that I downloaded it should still be recorded in my browser's history. Of course I'd show that to you. But hold on, how would you have gotten her hands on the image in the first place? That is a good question. How would she know when it was left in my computer's cache? The one time she came to my room, she couldn't possibly have had time to check out my PC.
まさか君が将軍か。
She was trying to set me up. You had planned it all out, and she too was one of the new gen criminals, and she had intended to use me as a scapegoat to mislead the police investigation. That is too is a theory at this point.
助けて。
This was too much for me. Why me? Because I was gross? Because I didn't have any friends? You said nothing, only shook her head a little.
その画像はアットカフェルーム37の PC から拾ったんです。あなたの PC もできれば調べたかったんですけど、その機会はさすがにありませんでした。
Well, that poses a problem, because if she had, then she would realize the timestamp on Takumi's computer. Room 37, the room I always used. The bitch totally thought she was some kind of detective. Yua looked at me with only a faint trace of apology in her face. I felt that she'd returned to the usual Yua for a moment, but only for a moment. Still wearing that expression, she began fishing around inside her bag again. This time she brought out a printout and pushed it at me. I had a bad feeling about this. My reason warned me that it would be better not to look. But I had no choice but to look. I'd be falsely accused if I didn't find some way to resist.
それがあなたのすべてです。
My everything. Could she have stolen all of my personal information? Was you a hacker? Heart pounding, I unfolded the printout. Contrary to my expectations, though, rather than my personal information, what was printed there looked like the backlog of an online chat.
Huh?
The participants in the chat were Nightheart and Shogun. So they do have that. There it is, in black and white. conversation.
そのログ変ですよね。
え
What was so strange about it? It was a normal log. I remembered having this kind of conversation with Shogun.
ナイト・ハルトと将軍の発言時間が全然噛み合ってないんです。
Ah. Now that is interesting. She's right. The timestamps don't match up. After all, Neidhart wrote from, according to the dates, it was Sunday the 28th of September, sorry, I'm getting mixed up here, at somewhere between 3:15 and 3:18. But Shogun is typing from the day afterwards, on Monday, at between 7:55 and 7:58 p.m. Now that is confusing. Well, one thing would actually that would explain this away would be that Shogun is in a completely different time zone from where Takumi was. But then again, Yua mentioned that she got this data from the computer cache in room 37. Even though Takumi knows full well that in real time he got these messages on Sunday, they are in fact printed on Monday, unless that is somebody who's there is also the possibility that somebody has tampered with Shogun's timestamp. But yeah, things are definitely getting curiouser and curiouser. Well, I'm going to leave this episode for the time being, adventurers, and when we return, we'll try to connect more of the dots and puzzle out this mystery. Although, something tells me that it won't end well for Takumi in the slightest. As always, adventurers, until next we meet.